We're LIA, Leaders in Action.
And we're the YSC, the Youth Advisory Committee, and we're here to talk to you about something we've discussed a lot: prosperity.
Prosperity.
In this film, we're going to talk about ways you can impact your prosperity through food, healthy eating, growing your own food, and community building through things like sharing food and this really cool community garden project that we're working on. Growing your own food.
Even try to get most of your food out of your garden, like the family living at the Path to Freedom house in Pasadena,
where Jules Dervaes and his 3 children are trying to grow most of the food they eat in their garden.
Depending on the season, the 4 seasons here, we would say we can get up to about 80% of our diet, our vegetarian diet, grown on our property in the summertime. That's because we're bringing in beans, peppers, eggplant, cucumbers, and tomatoes. So that's a big chunk of diet. In the wintertime, we go back to about 50 to 60% because it's basically greens, mostly salads. And unless my family wants to turn into cows, I'm going to cut some endive for a salad. So we just give it a little haircut. It's one of our ingredients. We could put maybe 20 different varieties of lettuce and greens into a salad mix, and it's really dynamite. Okay, this is my front yard, and this was my first area where I decided to take a stand here and plant something useful for the front yard instead of grass. Took out the grass, and then we started with herbs, figuring that, you know, how can you go bad with herbs? They're a cultivated weed. So we have lemon balm. It's an old-fashioned herb, and it has culinary usage. Here, would be horseradish. This is culinary and medicinal. It's lemon verbena. It's a 4-inch plant that we put in from the nursery. We bought it. We didn't know what was going to happen, but then you could see what happened. It likes it. A nice hardy plant is a rosemary. It's a beautiful plant. People love this, and it's useful. I didn't want to bomb on my first attempt, so I got something that was kind of foolproof. And it was in the nurseries. I had heard about it. Herbs were pretty hardy plants, so I went with that until I got good and started something that I wasn't so sure of, and then but I used what I learned for the other things, and I just kept piling more plants on the top of more plants. So I could show you what happened after we got on the roll. We just went crazy.
and you could increase your prosperity by starting to sell some of the things you grow in your garden. In addition to growing all of the food they eat on just 1/10 of an acre, the Dervaes family are now growing and selling edible flowers, herbs, heirloom tomatoes, and lettuce.
It just was marketing it. It was just finding the right buyer. That's the whole thing. Is you have something, and you have to find out what other meeting somebody that wants what you have. So we went through the local restaurants here in Pasadena, and we gave them samples of what we had. This would be an early fall salad, and it sold itself right off the bat. They couldn't deny that was one of the freshest, best local produce that they had. So it was easy then. So you start clubs, churches, friends, neighbors, and then see how you do with that, and then eventually maybe approach a mom and pop restaurant in your area and say, look, I do this. Would you like to send again a sample? When you taste it, it's nothing like tasting to believe. I'm trying to get a good mouth. Okay, that hits the spot.